Welcome to the third lecture of course Metrology and Machine Tools. Today we'll discuss about the machining variables and geometry of a single point cutting tool. Machining variables, you can call it as a elements of metal cutting. Cutting speed, feed and depth of cut. These three are the machining variables. Cutting speed. The cutting speed can be defined as the relative surface speed between the tool and the job. It is a relative term since either the tool or job or both may be moving during the cutting. Depends upon the operation. Some in some operations only the cutting tool is going to be rotating. In some other operations, workpiece and both cutting tool will move. It is expressed in meters per minute. We'll take one example. We are going to consider the turning operation in a lathe machine. In a lathe work, when a workpiece of diameter d rotates at a speed of n rpm, the cutting speed is given by V is equal to pi dn by 60 meters per minute, where d is the diameter of the workpiece and n is the speed, and the units for this one is meters per minute. Next machining variable is feed. Feed rate is defined as the distance the tool travels during one revolution of the part. There is another statement for this feed is the feed is the amount of tool advancement per revolution of job parallel to the surface being machined. The units are mm per revolution. Here, if you observe this one, this is a turning operation. Here, in this case, the workpiece is rotating and the cutting tool is moving in the direction parallel to the axis of the workpiece. Here, if you have to define this feed, in this case, the feed is the distance traveled by this cutting tool per one revolution of the workpiece. It means when the workpiece is revolving in one revolution, the distance traveled by this cutting tool is called as a feed. Depth of cut. It is the total amount of metal removed per pass of the cutting tool. Another statement. It is the thickness of the metal removed in one cut or pass, measured in a direction perpendicular to the machined surface. The units are mm. Let's see, this is the turning operation and this is the workpiece and this is the machined surface. Let capital D is the workpiece diameter. Here, this is the diameter of the workpiece. I'm going to take it as capital D. Let's for example, this is the diameter of the workpiece and this is the diameter of the machined surface. The diameter of the surface obtained by removing the material by one pass. That means after completion of the one pass, so we got the diameter small d. So small d is equal to diameter of machined surface obtained after one cut. Then the depth of cut for this one is small t is equal to capital D minus small d by 2 mm. So this is a formula for depth of cut. Here, if you observe this one, this is the workpiece. The workpiece is revolving, and this one is the cutting tool. We are removing the material by using the cutting tool. Here, this is the diameter of the workpiece, capital D, this surface, and this is the finished surface. That means the diameter of the workpiece after completion of the one cutting process. So the formula for the small t is equal to capital D minus small d by 2. So this is about the depth of cut. Next, coming to this single point cutting tool. Already we discussed about this cutting tool in the last lecture, and this is a type of cutting tool. It has only one effective cutting edge to remove the excess material from the workpiece. So in the single point cutting tool, only one cutting edge is going to be effectively involved in the material removal process. So examples: lathe tools, boring tools, planer tools, etc. So these are the some examples of the cutting tools, single point cutting tools. And here if you observe, this is a basic turning operation. The workpiece is revolving. And if you observe here, these are the cutting edges. This is the one cutting edge and this is the other cutting edge. Already we discussed that even though these cutting tools have the number of cutting edges, but during the machining operation, only one cutting edge is going to be effectively involved in the material removal rate. So here, out of these two cutting edges here, this is a one cutting edge, this is another cutting edge. Out of these two, only this cutting edge is going to be effectively involved in the material removal process. So that's why it is called as a single point cutting tool. Next, we'll see what are the materials used to make these cutting tools. Generally, the cutting tools are made by high carbon steels, high speed steels, ceramics, diamonds, cemented carbide, and cubic boronite. So that means we can select the different material for the different cutting tools. So we have to select the material of the cutting tool based on the surface which we are going to do some operation. Come to this material cutting tool properties. So hardness. The hardness of the cutting tool should be 1.5 times harder than the material which is to be machined. So the hardness of the cutting tool must be more than the hardness of the workpiece. And the cutting tool is capable of maintaining a red hardness during machining operations. It should have some capacity to maintain the red hardness. Okay, we'll see what is the red hardness. Red hardness is nothing but ability of a cutting tool to maintain sharp cutting edge at elevated temperatures. Even though at elevated temperatures, the cutting tool edge should not be damaged. So it is also sometimes referred as hot hardness or hot strength. That means the cutting tool should also be work at elevated temperatures also. Next, wear resistance. The cutting tool should be able to maintain sharpened edge throughout the cutting operation. Throughout the cutting operation, it should maintain its sharpness. The sharpness should not be decreased. And the cutting tool able to take the cutting loads and forces. We are applying some loads and forces during the machining operation. The cutting tool should accept all these loads and forces. It should not uh, damage if you apply some forces and loads. So that's why it should be shock resistance. So these are the some cutting tool properties. And shape and configuration. The cutting tool must be available in different shapes and different sizes. So because we are doing these operations on different shapes and different sizes of the workpieces and different shape of the workpieces. So based on our workpiece and operation, we are going to select the cutting tool. So that's why the cutting tool should be available in different shapes and configurations. So these are the cutting tool properties. Next, coming to the single point cutting tool geometry, or you can call it as a nomenclature of the single point cutting tool. So as already we discussed that this is a single point cutting tool. Generally, this is used for the lathe operations, and these are some parts. So the parts of the cutting tool. We'll see one by one. The first part is the flank, face, shank, heel, nose, nose radius, and cutting edges. These are the main parts of the cutting tool, single point cutting tool. So we'll discuss one by one. So what is a shank? Shank is the main body of the tool. This is the shank. This is the main body of the tool, generally which is used to hold this cutting tool in a tool holder. So you have to hold the cutting tool in a tool holder. So for the gripping purpose, this complete portion, the shank is going to be inserted in the cutting tool holder. So this also act as a for the gripping purpose. And next one is the face. So this is the face. The top face of the tool between the shank and cutting edge. So that the top surface of the tool between the shank and cutting edge is known as the face. This is the top face. Is a surface between this is the shank and this one is the end cutting edge. The top surface between the end cutting edge and the shank is known as the face. On actually on this face only the chips are going to be moving. So chips flows along this surface. So you got there is another statement for this face. The surface on which the chips slides is called the face of the tool. Here this is a cutting edge, end cutting edge. By using this end cutting edge, we are going to remove the material. When the material is cut away from the workpiece, by using this cutting edge, after cutting, the chips will flow along this surface. The chip will flow along the surface of the face. So that is about the face. Next, flank. There are two flanks, major flank and a minor flank. The portion of the tool which faces the work. So the portion of the tool which faces the work. So This is the minor flank and this one is the major flank, and it is the surface adjacent to and below the cutting edge when the tool lies in the horizontal position. These are the cutting edge, the face which is adjacent and below the cutting edge when the tool lies in the horizontal position. So these are the flanks, minor flank and major flank. Heel. This is the heel, the bottom one. It is the intersection of the flank and the base of the tool. Here, this is the flank and the bottom. This is the base. The intersection of the base and flank, that is called as the heel. Next, nose. So it is the point where the side cutting edge and end cutting edge intersects. So this is the side cutting edge and this one is the end cutting edge. So the point of intersection of these two is known as the nose. This is a very important portion here. There's a sharp edged point. And nose radius. The nose radius will provide long life and also good surface finish with a sharp point on the nose. Here, this is the nose. Actually, the nose is nothing but the point of intersection of the side cutting edge and end cutting edge. To avoid the damage and to increase the cutting to life, just the nose, the edge, is going to be make it as a curvature. So to avoid the damage, so and by avoiding the damage and to increase the cutting to life, so the intersection of the end cutting edge and side cutting edge will be formed like a curvature, that is known as the nose radius. Cutting edges. So cutting edge is nothing but which is used to remove the material. The edge, by using that, we are going to remove the material from the workpiece. So here this is the end cutting edge and this one is a side cutting edge. So based on the operation, we are going to remove the material from either end cutting edge or side cutting edge. But out of these two, only one cutting edge is going to be effectively involved in the material removal process, because already I told that this is a single point cutting tool. So these are about the machining variables and geometry of a single point cutting tool. Thank you.